Thank you for waiting at this time for airline passengers seated in premium economy. Upper class is flying from gold on the left-hand side of gate A11. Once again, premium economy, upper class is flying from gold on the left-hand side of gate A11. We also invite passengers who are seated on the upper deck, row number 75 through 80. Once again, row 75 through 80.
If you've been wanting to visit the beautiful island of Bantayan, be it for the first time or for the nth time, then we have good news for you. You may now opt to skip the long drive and the boat ride and just get there in just 20 to 30 minutes with the opening of Bantayan's airport. And in fact, we are about to join one of the first flights getting there from Mactan, Cebu International Airport. My name is Andrea Patenya Matthew. Join me for My Destination. Before we got into the plane, we went through all the security measures and safety health protocols at the Mactan Cebu International Airport. Aside from mandatory temperature checks and sanitizing procedures, all travelers are now required to download the Trace app and scan the QR codes located at the airport for contact tracing. There were two planes used for the maiden flights going to Bantayan from Mactan, a 50-seater Fokker plane and a 30-seater Dornier 328 operated by Platinum Skies, which was the one we rode in.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Platinum Skies, bound to Bantayan Island.
To be honest, flying in small aircraft scares me, but the flight was actually smooth with just a few seconds of turbulence. It was a low-altitude flight at only 3,500 feet. In fact, you could still see a lot of details on the ground from the skies. Upon arrival, we went through another round of security health procedures. And we are finally here at Bantayan Island Airport. I think it just took us around 20 minutes to get here, and it was actually a very smooth flight. It wasn't as scary as I thought it would be. And to tell us more about the upcoming flights from MCIAA going here to Bantayan Island Airport is the General Manager of MCIAA himself, Attorney Steve Dikdikan. Attorney, can you tell us more about the flights from MCIAA going to Bantayan, Attorney? When will this be available to the public?
So the flight that you took is Dornier 328. It's a 30-seater plane. And another one coming is a Fokker 50, a 50-seater plane.
Okay.
So we designed this airport so that they could accommodate up to an 80-seater ATR. So hopefully we will have this all ready by next year. This is really just a promotional event. We want to highlight that we have a travel event, because people are still afraid to travel. And we want to promote travel and also to promote the new tourism normal in a scaled model environment.
Attorney, so if I may repeat, it will range from 30-seater to 80-seater lang na planes atong gamiton.
It can range to the smaller planes, like the Janab planes, which are 4-seaters, and up to an 80-seater plane.
How about when it comes to the price of the tickets, Attorney? Are you still finalizing the actual
Yes,
rates?
we're still negotiating with airlines like Philippine Airlines and Cebu Pacific. Definitely, it will be cheaper to travel here because with more passenger capacity, the aircraft will be cheaper.
Do you have a target date, or as to the quarter next year perhaps? Will it be the first quarter next year, second quarter?
Yeah, we have not finalized anything, but I do want to reopen at least for limited operations for the first quarter, and we want to hopefully get a commercial operations by the second quarter.
Okay. Attorney, I think one of the considerations of the future passengers of these aircrafts will be the safety.
Yes.
Because personally, when I was invited, when I received the invitation about, riding one of the first few flights going here to Bantayan, one of the first things that came into my mind was, is it safe?
Yes.
Because these are smaller planes compared to the commercial ones that we usually ride in. So, unsa ka safe ning atong mga aircrafts, attorney?
Actually, if you talk about turboprops and the smaller planes, they're one of the safest airplanes. They have very good flexibility, so they can react to any situation rather quickly, rather than the bigger planes, which are very stable but don't have that maneuverability. So in terms of, as long as your pilot knows what he's doing,
Yeah.
you can get away with almost anything with the
So-
smaller aircrafts.
Our passengers will be assured that they are in good hands.
Yes, that's right. That's right. And safety-wise, we have, as you can see, we have air firefighting capabilities.
Okay.
We put in the lights. Now, many of these improvements, like the wall, perimeter wall, this was not there before. This was not a paved runway before. So all of these improvements we introduced so that our passengers will have the safest experience.
Attorney, go ahead and invite all of our viewers, not just Cebuanos, but all viewers all over the world, nga at nga ni ang upcoming flights from MCIAA going to Bantayan.
Yeah. So first of all, I'd like to encourage everyone to really travel. I know that the pandemic is still there, but when the time comes, please visit us here at Bantayan. Please visit us here in Cebu. We're the best destination in the world.
Thank you so much, Attorney Steve Dikdikan. So there you have it. We have already so many upcoming convenient options to get here to Bantayan Island. And make sure to make Bantayan your next destination. Among those who welcomed the first flights in Bantayan aside from Attorney Dikdikan were Governor Gwendolyn Garcia,
This airport that will serve the people of Santa Fe, Madridejos and Bantayan, as well as so many other tourists that wish to come, is the right reason. And that is why we have come together.
Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque,
Ang pamamaraan ng pagbubukas po pwedeng gawin, dapat lang po tayo'y maging maingat, laging magmask, laging maghugas, at lagi pong mag-iwas.
Presidential Assistant for the Visayas Secretary Michael Dino,
If you follow the protocol, bisag open na ato ang airport, open na atong tourism industry, sigurado dili ta matakban.
Department of Tourism Regional Director Shalimar Tamano, and Northern Cebu mayors. Following the inaugural flights in Bantayan's airport was the mini Suri-Suri Sugbu SMB Escapade, which stands for Santa Fe, Madridejos and Bantayan, the three towns of the island. Aside from Cebu's media members, the provincial government also invited vloggers, influencers, and the candidates of Miss Universe Philippines 2020 to the event so that they could help promote tourism in the island. And true enough, we realized that there's so much more to Bantayan than just white sand beaches and their famous dried fish. It is an island rich in history, culture, and talent. Mayong sir! Welcome to Santa Fe! Our first stop was at Ogtong Cave Resort in Santa Fe, where we were greeted by talented Santa Fejanon performers. A few meters from Ogtong Cave Resort, you can find The Ruins, a popular Instagrammable spot where a famous movie was filmed. We then proceeded to Cota Heritage Park in Madridejos for another round of performances and a feast of native delicacies. Madridejos used to be known as Lawis and is also called the Little Alaska of the Philippines because of its bountiful fish harvest. The old Spanish fort at Cota Park was built in the 1790s with limestone, corals, and egg whites to protect the people from the attack of Moro pirates. Another historical structure in the island is the parish of Saints Peter and Paul, located in the town of Bantayan. It was the first parish to be established in Cebu in 1580. It got destroyed in 1600 by Muslim rebels and several times again by natural disasters, including Typhoon Yolanda in 2013, but it has already been restored and it looks even more beautiful today. This is actually my third visit here in Bantayan Island, but it's my first time to set foot here at Saints Peter and Paul Church, and I must say, it is absolutely beautiful. Once you enter the church, especially when all the lights are turned on, the first thing that you would really notice is the amazingly colorful ceiling. They call it the Dibuho sa Kisame, and this was a project initiated by 3 priests from 2017 to 2019. This was a work of art by 5 talented artists from all over the country. And Bantayanons say that the Dibuho sa Kisame not only enhances the liturgical environment of the parish, but it also promotes visual catechism. So this is really something that we Cebuanos can be proud of. Next to the parish is a museum containing different religious artifacts, including the original copy of the papal indult, which exempted Bantayanons from meat abstinence during the Holy Week.
However, the first indult was given for 2 years privilege only. And then they probably have requested for extension, so they were given an extension for another 10 years. So that's around 8 and 30s and the later 40s. So at that time, when this indult was already expired, which is around 173 years already, the people of Bantayan are still practicing it. You know, they were following the tradition and stuff. But technically, it should be stopped already.
So this is called the Orimon. This is a portable confession-like structure which was used back then to transport priests to sick people so that they could bring the viaticum, which contains the Holy Host, to them. So 4 people would be carrying this portable structure as they hold on to poles which were originally attached to this. Here you can also find the parish's old baptismal font, a ramillete or an altar decoration used to substitute fresh flowers, and the unearthed image of St. Peter. Across the museum is Bantayan's famous Lover's Lane, where sweethearts could take a stroll. On the second day of our escapade, we had different tour packages. Some chose to go on an island hopping adventure to the famous Virgin Island and do kayaking and stand-up paddling in Balidbid Lagoon. Others went to Bantayan Island Nature Park and Resort to learn about zero waste management and interact with different farm animals. Of course, poultry wouldn't be absent from the area, as Bantayan is known as the egg basket of Cebu. We chose to join the observation tour at SM Fishers Corporation to learn about seafood processing. Behind me is the docking area of SM Fisheries Corporation. So this is where they receive the fresh seafood directly from the fishermen from the neighboring islands and islets of Bantayan. And now we are going to visit the area where they pre-process their scallops. So SM Fisheries Corporation actually produce at least 500 kilos of scallops on a daily basis. So as you can see behind me, this is the unloading area. So this is where they receive the scallops nga naapa sa iyahang shell. And now we are going to visit the area where they pre-process the scallops for the initial packaging. All right, let's go inside. Okay, so to my left is the area where they remove the scallop meat from its shell. So behind me, over here, this is where they clean the scallop meat. So ilang tangtangon katong mga hugaw bitaw sa iyahang meat para pwede na siyang limpyuhan for pre-packaging. And then, as you can see over here, they have a very strict sanitation process. So before you can actually enter this room, you need to change into these boots. O, diba? Boots ni Dora. Okay, and then you have to dip your boots into this chlorine solution to avoid contamination of the product inside. So, sulod ta. Hello. Hi, everyone. Okay, so this is what you call their washing area. So this is where they wash the scallop meat. They have to soak it in chlorine solution para sure gyud nga limpyo ang ilahang products before i-package ang ilahang scallop meat. As you can see, they are putting the scallop meat, the washed scallop meat, into temporary plastic bags, and these plastic bags will be delivered to Cordova for the final packaging. For crab meat processing, they boil the blue crabs for 18 minutes, cool them down for another 40 minutes, and remove the meat from the shell and pack it for export.
Okay, number one, ang sa mga mananagat nga side, at least na sila'y sure nga buyer. Oo. And then, pagka sa processing naman, nasa mga tao nga makatrabaho.
We ended the day in Santa Fe's picturesque public beach, where tourists enjoyed on the sand with their friends and families. I even found my Moshi tribe and joined them in a fun Zumba session. Time to take a dip and cool down while enjoying the magnificent sunset by the beach. Before heading back to Mactan Airport, we made sure to stop by Bantayan's public market for dried fish shopping.
Come visit Bantayan!
Vendors expressed how happy they are that tourists are slowly returning to the island, such as Tatay Ramonito.
Dagan mo mamalik, ma'am. Kung manay mga tourist, labi ka ng may beach sa kuan. Mamana sila mamalik na namo.
Like Tatay Ramonito, Raymond, a tour guide since 2006, also shared his joy about the slow revival of Cebu's tourism.
Hoping that we can do our job again, and then it has really affected us a lot, and then we are the first. I would say we are the first casualty, because we would rely on the tourist arrivals.
Next to Bantayan's public market, you can find barbecue stalls where they cook a famous Bantayan street food. If you're the type of person who loves to try exotic delicacies, then make sure you taste Bantayan's very own tago-angkan. So tago-angkan this is how it looks like. So this is made of the uterus of a 1-year-old chicken stuffed with eggs inside. So the way they cook it is they take out the uterus with the eggs inside, and then they remove the eggs. They boil it separately, and once the eggs are cooked, they remove the shell, insert it back into the uterus, and then they grill everything together. So karon atong tilawan ang tago-angkan. It's actually my first time to see and to try this. Atong tilawan. Lasang itlog. So, kuan siya. Mura siya tinai sa manok, isaw, plus the eggs inside. Lami siya. And it's actually very big. I don't think I can finish this. But yeah, if you're here in Bantayan, make sure that you do not leave the island without trying taguangkan. Kaunta?
Just a few blocks away is another popular food shop called Kermit's, known for their delicious and affordable brazo de Mercedes and other desserts.
I think the only way, the best way yun na mutabang ta sa tourism is, local tourism yun na magsugod. It starts with us. And slowly but surely, kung magtinabangay lang yun ta, just like supporting local products, we have to support local tourism. And I think that's always the best way to move forward right now.
Akong gibrand kay the dentist is out. Kaya I really advocate mo na kung yung isulod. I am really advocating and campaigning for us to have a work-life balance. In other words, di lang kita mo focus sa itong trabaho. Mugawa sa maglingaw-lingaw sa tapanagsa. And kata Cebu, blessed ka ita kay around Cebu, daghan yung kitang matuan. In which kani Bantayan dool ra jud kaayo. So kung magbasta, mag-aeroplano na aeroplano karon yung mas dool. So yes, for me, in the new normal, we have to adapt and adapt na sa jud. We don't have to live in fear. Of course, it is our responsibility to protect ourselves. In the same way, we have to protect others. If ever the establishment are doing their ways already to protect their guests, then atos lang atuan. Anyway, I would assume ang DOT o ang ITTF nagpagawa sa mas lao guidelines unsaon pag open sa resort. So if ever they are following their protocols, it is now our responsibility nga unsaon nato pag follow lang gyud na siya. So kung wala may magbantay na may gatanaw or wala, ato lang yung sundon para maprotektahan gyud tanan.
Even if charter flights are not yet available until next year, Cebuano tourists can already visit the island through the Hagnaya Wharf by simply showing proof of your hotel accommodation, round-trip boat ticket, and quarantine pass.
I hope this episode has convinced all of you to come visit Bantayan and enjoy all the wonderful things the island has to offer, and at the same time help revive the economy of the place. But make sure that when you travel safe and that you travel responsibly. This has been Andrea Patenya Matthew for My Destination.